Admiral Han Wu stood on the bridge of his ship, looking out at the dark space around Earth. His uniform was neat and clean, but his face showed the worry he felt inside. For 3 months now, the galaxy had been at war, and every day brought news of more planets burning. The war had started over trade routes. The Hegemony Coalition wanted to control all the main shipping lanes between star systems. The Free World's Republic said no. Both sides had been building up their fleets for years, and when talks failed, the shooting began. Han Wu remembered the day the first reports came in. Entire star systems had gone silent. When scout ships went to check, they found nothing but floating metal and dead rocks where planets used to be. The war was not just about winning territory. Both sides wanted to destroy each other completely. "Sir, we have another message from the Hegemony," said Captain Li Do from his station. Li Do was young but smart. He ran Earth's deep space monitoring network from a hidden base near Pluto. "They want to meet with our leaders again." Han Wu nodded. "What do they offer this time?" "Advanced weapons, shield technology, and protection for all human colonies," Li Do read from his screen. "They say the free worlds will destroy Earth if we don't join them. And what does the free world say?" "The same thing, but backwards," Li Do replied. "They offer us trade deals and new planets to settle. They say the hegemony will enslave all humans if we pick their side." Han Wu walked to the big window that showed Earth below. The blue and green planet looked peaceful from space. Cities sparkled with lights. Ships moved between orbital stations like busy ants. Millions of people lived their lives down there, not knowing how close the galaxy was to complete destruction. Dr. Park Hai entered the bridge. She was Earth's top expert on alien races and their technology. Her lab coat was always covered in oil stains from the machines she worked on. "Admiral, I need to show you something important." Han Wu followed her to a side room where she had set up several screens. Each screen showed different battle reports from across the galaxy. Red dots marked destroyed planets. Yellow dots showed systems under attack. Green dots were the few places still at peace. "Look at this pattern," Park Hai said, pointing to the screens. "The hegemony uses plasma bombs that turn entire planets into glass. The free worlds use something called quantum mines that make stars go supernova. Both sides are not just fighting for control anymore. They want to kill everything the other side has." Han Wu studied the displays. "How many people have died?" "We estimate over 50 billion in the last 3 months," Park Hai said quietly. "And the number grows every day. Entire species have been wiped out. The Altair colonies, the Vega research stations, the mining worlds near Rigel. All gone." The door opened and President Kim Jae walked in. Kim Jae was an older man with gray hair and kind eyes. He had led Earth's government for 8 years and had always believed in peaceful solutions. But the war was testing his beliefs. "Admiral Doctor, we need to talk," Kim Jae said. "The Galactic Council sent another message. Both sides are getting angry that we won't pick a side. They say our neutrality is helping their enemies." Han Wu turned from the screens. "What did you tell them?" "The same thing I always tell them. Earth will not join a war of extinction. We will defend ourselves, but we will not help destroy entire civilizations." Dr. Park Hai pulled up another screen. "Mr. President, you should see this. Our deep space sensors picked up something interesting. Both sides have been moving their fleets closer to our borders. I think they plan to force us to choose." The screen showed a map of local space around Earth's solar system. Red and blue dots showed enemy fleets getting closer. Some were only a few light years away now. Captain Li Do's voice came over the communication system. "Sir, we have ships approaching the outer system. It's a diplomatic convoy from both sides. They want to land on Earth for direct talks." President Kim Jae rubbed his forehead. "How many ships?" 12 hegemony cruisers and 15 free worlds destroyers. They're not shooting at each other, but their weapons are charged and ready." Admiral Han Wu felt his stomach tighten. Having enemy fleets so close to Earth was dangerous. One wrong move could start a battle right in their home system. "Let them come to the orbital station," Kim Jae decided. "But make it clear that any weapons fire near Earth will be considered an attack on our sovereignty." Over the next few hours, representatives from both sides arrived at Earth's main orbital platform. The hegemony sent Admiral Vorthak, a tall alien with blue skin and 4 arms. His species believed that the strongest should rule over the weak. The free world sent General Cassiandra, a reptilian creature whose people had once been slaves before they fought for freedom. Han Wu watched the meetings through security cameras. Both alien leaders made the same arguments they had made before. Join us or be destroyed by our enemies. Give us your resources and soldiers. Help us win this war. President Kim Jae listened politely to both sides. Then he gave the same answer he had given for months. Earth appreciates the offers of alliance, Kim Jae said calmly, but we cannot join a war that seeks to destroy entire species. We will remain neutral and help any refugees who seek safety in our system. Admiral Vorthak slammed his 4 fists on the table. Your neutrality helps our enemies. Every day you refuse to join us, more of our soldiers die. General Cassandra hissed in agreement. The hegemony will remember your refusal to help. When they come for Earth, do not expect mercy. Kim Jae stood up slowly. Gentlemen, Earth has made its choice. We choose peace over war, protection over destruction. If either of your sides attacks neutral civilians or peaceful worlds, we will consider you our enemy. Both alien leaders left angry. Their fleets departed Earth's system, but Han Wu knew they would be back. The war was getting desperate, and desperate people did dangerous things. That night, Han Wu met with his senior officers in a secret room deep inside the orbital station. The room had no windows and heavy shields to block any listening devices. How ready are our defenses? Han Wu asked. Commander Yoon Soo, who ran Earth's refugee program, spoke first. We have taken in over 2 million war refugees in the past month. They bring stories of planets burning and fleets destroyed, but they also bring technology and knowledge. Engineer Cho Min, who designed Earth's secret projects, smiled. We have been very busy, Admiral. The mining stations near Jupiter are not really mining stations. The research ships exploring the outer system are not really research ships. And the cargo vessels moving between planets are carrying more than supplies. Han Wu nodded. Good, how long do we have? Dr. Park Hai checked her datapad. The war is reaching a breaking point. Both sides are running out of ships and soldiers. They will start looking for new allies or new enemies soon. I estimate we have maybe 6 months before someone forces the issue. President Kim Jae's face appeared on the main screen. He was calling from Earth's surface. Admiral, I just received word that the Altair refugee fleet is heading toward our system. Over 50,000 survivors are looking for safety. How long until they arrive? Han Wu asked. 3 days. But there's a problem. A hegemony battle group is chasing them. The aliens claim the refugees are carrying Free World's military equipment. Han Wu felt the situation getting more dangerous. What are your orders, Mr. President? Kim Jae's voice was firm. We protect all refugees who seek safety in our system. Prepare our ships, Admiral. It looks like our neutrality is about to be tested. As the meeting ended, Han Wu looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, 50,000 frightened people were running for their lives. Behind them came warships with enough firepower to destroy planets. And Earth stood in the middle, trying to do what was right in a galaxy gone mad with war. The next 3 days would change everything. The refugee ships arrived at the edge of Earth's solar system 3 days later, just as President Kim Jae had predicted. Captain Lee Do watched them from his monitoring station near Pluto. The ships were a sad sight. Most had holes in their hulls from weapon hits. Some were barely holding together with emergency patches and prayer. How many ships total? Admiral Han Wu asked over the communication link. 47 vessels of different sizes, Lee Do replied, reading his sensors. The largest is a civilian transport that normally carries 5,000 people. Now it has 15,000 packed inside. The smallest is a family cargo ship with maybe 50 people aboard. Commander Yoon Soo was already preparing the refugee camps. She had been running Earth's refugee assistance program since the war started. Her teams had built temporary cities in the asteroid belt and around the moons of Saturn and Jupiter. The facilities could house millions of people if needed. We can handle 50,000 more, Yoon Soo reported. But these people will need medical care, food, and places to sleep. Many of them have been traveling for weeks in ships not meant for so many passengers. Dr. Park Hai was more interested in the technology the refugees brought with them. Every group that came to Earth had new information about alien weapons, shields, and engines. Her team studied everything they could get their hands on. Admiral, 3 of the refugee ships are carrying damaged military equipment, Park Hai said. Not weapons, but sensor arrays and communication systems. The owners say they grabbed whatever they could when their planets were destroyed. Han Wu nodded. Study everything they're willing to share. But remember, these people are not spies or soldiers. They're families trying to survive. The refugee fleet slowly moved deeper into the solar system. Earth's small fleet of patrol ships escorted them toward the temporary camps. Everything seemed to be going smoothly until Lee Do's sensors picked up something else. Admiral, we have a problem. Lido's voice was tight with worry. Long-range sensors show a hegemony battle group approaching fast. 12 heavy cruisers and a command ship. They'll be here in 18 hours. Hanwoo felt his chest tighten. This was exactly what he had been afraid of. Any word from them about their intentions? Nothing yet, sir. But based on their course and speed, they're definitely following the refugee fleet. President Kim Jae called an emergency meeting. All of Earth's senior military and civilian leaders gathered in the secure conference room beneath the Geneva headquarters. The room had been built during the old nuclear wars and could survive almost any attack. Options? Kim Jae asked simply. General Baek Sol, who ran Earth's hidden military production, spoke first. We can fight them. Our ships are better than they think. But we would be starting a war with the entire hegemony coalition. What about diplomacy? Asked Ambassador Shin Ho, Earth's representative to the galactic community. We could try to negotiate with them. Dr. Park Hai shook her head. I've been studying hegemony psychology for years. They only understand strength. If we appear weak, they will attack. If we appear strong, they might back down. Admiral Hanwoo studied the tactical displays. The refugees are carrying civilian families and wounded people. Even if some of them have military equipment, they're not soldiers. They're people running for their lives. The hegemony doesn't care, Commander Yoon-soo said bitterly. I've interviewed thousands of refugees. The hegemony kills anyone they think might help their enemies. Old people, children, entire families. They call it removing future threats. Kim Jae was quiet for a long moment. Finally, he looked up. We protect the refugees. That's not negotiable. Admiral, prepare our ships, but don't make any aggressive moves. We'll try talking first. Over the next day, Earth's hidden defenses quietly came online. Mining stations in the asteroid belt activated weapon systems that had been disguised as rock crushers. Research ships near the outer planets shed their fake equipment and revealed military sensors and communication arrays. Cargo vessels opened their holds to show fighters and drones instead of supplies. Engineer Cho Min had spent years planning for this moment. Earth's real military was hidden in plain sight. To outside observers, humans looked like a peaceful species with only basic defenses. The truth was very different. All systems ready, Cho Min reported. We have 43 combat ships that can match or beat anything the hegemony has, plus over 200 smaller vessels armed with weapons they've never seen before. Dr. Park Hai had been working around the clock with her teams. We've finished studying the alien technology from the refugees. Our new shield systems can absorb their plasma weapons and turn the energy into power for our own guns. Our missiles use quantum targeting that can track ships through hyperspace. The hegemony fleet arrived exactly when Lee Do had predicted. 13 massive ships dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. Each ship was over 2 kilometers long and bristled with weapons that could destroy cities. Admiral Vorthak's image appeared on the main screen in Earth's command center. The four-armed alien looked angry. His blue skin was darker than usual, which Hanwoo knew meant he was preparing for battle. Humans, Vorthak said in his mechanical-sounding voice. You are harboring enemies of the hegemony coalition. Surrender the refugee fleet immediately, or we will consider this an act of war. President Kim Jae answered calmly. Admiral Vorthak, the people in those ships are civilians seeking safety. They have committed no crimes against your people. We will not hand them over to be killed. They carry military equipment stolen from our forces. They have information that could help the free worlds. They are not innocent. Kim Jae's voice remained steady. Even if that were true, which we doubt, Earth does not execute people for carrying information. These refugees are under our protection. Vorthak leaned forward on the screen. Then you choose to be our enemy. We will destroy the refugee ships and any human vessels that try to stop us. The communication ended. Hanwoo immediately began giving orders. All ships, battle stations. Civilian vessels move away from the refugee fleet. Military units form a defensive line between the hegemony ships and the refugees. What followed was the strangest 6 hours in human history. 2 fleets faced each other in the darkness of space, weapons powered and ready, but neither side fired. The hegemony ships moved slowly toward the refugee fleet. Earth ships moved to block them. When the aliens tried to go around, the humans moved to block them again. Why aren't they shooting? Captain Lee Do asked. Dr. Park Hai was studying the alien ships through her sensors. They're confused. Our ships are smaller than theirs, but our energy readings show we have more power. They're trying to figure out if we're bluffing. Commander Yoon-soo was using the time to evacuate the refugee ships. Her teams worked quickly to transfer people to the temporary camps. Small transport ships moved back and forth, carrying frightened families to safety. "How much longer do you need?" Han Wu asked her. 6 more hours to get everyone to safety. 4 hours if we're willing to leave some supplies behind." Admiral Vorthak tried different tactics. He moved his ships to threaten Earth itself. Han Wu responded by positioning his fleet between the aliens and the home planet. Vorthak tried to use long-range sensors to scan the refugee ships. Earth's ships blocked those scans with electronic interference. "This is like a chess game," Engineer Cho Min observed. "Each side trying to find an advantage without starting a shooting war." The standoff continued for hours. Both fleets maneuvered around each other like dancers in a deadly ballet. No shots were fired, but everyone knew that could change in an instant. Finally, Commander Yoon-soo's voice came over the radio. "All refugees have been evacuated to safety. The ships are empty except for volunteer crews who want to take them to the outer system." Han Wu felt some of the tension leave his shoulders. "Good work. Now we can focus on getting the hegemony to leave." But Admiral Vorthak had other plans. His ship suddenly changed course and headed straight for the refugee camps around Jupiter. His message was clear. If he couldn't destroy the ships, he would attack the people directly. "All units intercept course," Han Wu ordered. "Do not let them reach the civilian camps." Earth's ships raced to block the hegemony fleet again. This time the aliens were clearly preparing to fight. Their weapons were charging and their shields were at full power. President Kim Jae's voice came over the military communication channel. "Admiral, you are authorized to defend our refugees and our territory, but try to avoid starting a galactic war if possible." Han Wu almost smiled. "We'll do our best, Mr. President." The two fleets were now racing toward Jupiter at high speed. Earth's ships were faster, but the hegemony had more firepower. It would be close. As they approached Jupiter's moon system where millions of refugees waited in the temporary camps, Han Wu made a decision that would change everything. He ordered his ships to power down their weapons and broadcast a message to the entire hegemony fleet. "Admiral Vorthak, this is Admiral Han Wu of Earth's Defense Fleet. You're about to attack innocent civilians, including women and children from dozens of different species. We cannot allow this. If you continue on your current course, we will consider it an act of war against Earth and all neutral worlds." Operation Solar Wind began at exactly midnight, Earth Standard Time. Across the galaxy, human ships appeared simultaneously at over 40 different star systems. Their targets were not planets or civilian populations, but the military infrastructure that kept both galactic alliances fighting. Admiral Han Wu commanded the operation from his flagship near the hegemony's main shipyard complex in the Rigel system. Around him, Earth's most advanced warships prepared to demonstrate humanity's approach to warfare. "All units report ready," Captain Li Do announced from his position at the tactical station. Phase 1 targets are identified and locked. The hegemony shipyards were massive structures that could build a dozen heavy cruisers at the same time. They had been working around the clock for months, replacing ships lost in the Galactic War. Now they would learn what happened when someone attacked Earth's protected civilians. "Fire," Han Wu ordered. Earth's quantum disruption missiles streaked across space faster than light, programmed to disable rather than destroy. The weapons hit the shipyard's power systems, manufacturing equipment, and docking facilities. Within minutes, the entire complex was shut down but intact. No workers were killed, but the yards would not be building warships for months. Similar attacks were happening throughout hegemony and Free World's territory. Major Song Ki led fighter squadrons that disabled communication relays. Captain Oh Bin's Special Forces teams infiltrated command centers and turned off defensive systems. General Bexol's battle groups surrounded military bases and demanded their surrender. The key to Earth's strategy was speed and precision. Human forces hit their targets and moved on before enemy reinforcements could arrive. They used intelligence provided by refugees to avoid civilian areas and focus only on military installations. Dr. Park Hai monitored the operation from Earth's command center. All Phase 1 objectives achieved. Enemy military production is down by 60%. Their communication networks are in chaos. Commander Yoon-soo was coordinating with refugee volunteers who served as translators and local guides. The civilian populations in target systems are reporting that Earth forces are protecting them from military units, trying to use them as shields. This was perhaps the most shocking aspect of Earth's campaign. Instead of treating alien civilians as enemies, human forces actively protected them from their own military leaders. When hegemony officers tried to hide behind civilian populations, Earth soldiers arrested the officers and escorted the civilians to safety. President Kim Jae had been very clear about the rules of engagement. We are not conquering these worlds. We are liberating them from a war that has gone on too long. Every civilian protected, every refugee saved, every family reunited is a victory for humanity. The reaction from both galactic alliances was exactly what Earth strategists had predicted. Instead of working together against the human threat, they blamed each other for allowing Earth forces to infiltrate their territory. Admiral Vorthak's emergency transmission to the Hegemony High Command was intercepted by Captain Lee Do's monitoring stations. The free worlds must have given the humans our defense codes. There is no other way they could have disabled our systems so completely. General Cassiandra's response was equally predictable. The hegemony is obviously working with Earth to destroy free world's military capacity. This proves they were never serious about the war. Dr. Namji had spent years studying alien psychology for exactly this purpose. Both sides are responding as predicted. They cannot believe that a third party could defeat them so easily, so they assume the other side must be helping their enemy. Within days, the Galactic War shifted from hegemony versus free worlds to a three-way conflict with each side fighting the other two. But Earth's forces continued to focus on military targets while protecting civilians, which gave them a massive advantage. Refugee communities across the galaxy began openly supporting Earth's forces. Millions of people who had lost their homes to the war saw humanity as their only hope for peace. They provided intelligence, supplies, and volunteers for Earth's military campaign. Engineer Cho Min had prepared for this phase of the operation as well. Our mobile shipyards are now operational. We can build and repair ships using captured enemy facilities. Every system we liberate becomes a base for further operations. The turning point came when Earth's forces reached the core systems of both alliances. Instead of attacking the capitals directly, Admiral Han Wu made a different choice. He surrounded both governments with overwhelming force and then broadcast the same message to the entire galaxy. This is Admiral Han Wu of Earth's Defense Fleet, speaking to all peoples of the galaxy. For over a year, you have watched your leaders destroy entire star systems in the name of victory. Billions of innocent people have died while politicians and generals played games with planets as their tokens. His image appeared on communication systems throughout civilized space. Behind him, the flags of dozens of refugee species flew alongside Earth's banner. Earth offers the galaxy a different choice. Instead of conquest, we offer protection. Instead of destruction, we offer rebuilding. Instead of endless war, we offer peace. The broadcast continued with testimonials from refugees who had found safety in Earth's territory. Families reunited, children attending school, workers rebuilding their lives in freedom and safety. Both galactic alliances are now surrounded by Earth forces. Their military capacity has been eliminated, but their civilian populations are safe and protected. We do not seek to rule you. We seek to give you the chance to rule yourselves. Fleet Admiral Kang Yu, who had been commanding Earth's largest battle group, appeared on screen next to Han Wu. To the leaders of both alliances, you have 48 hours to agree to a ceasefire and begin peace negotiations. If you refuse, Earth forces will begin dismantling your governments and turning power over to elected civilian authorities. The ultimatum sent shockwaves through both capital systems. For the first time in the war, military commanders on both sides were forced to consider surrender instead of victory. Ambassador Shin Ho had been preparing for this moment as well. She had spent months working with refugee leaders to establish a framework for post-war government. We're not imposing Earth's system on anyone. We're helping each species develop governments that represent their own people's values and needs. The Hegemony High Command was the first to break. Faced with Earth fleets surrounding their home system, and their own military commanders refusing orders to fight civilians, they agreed to immediate ceasefire negotiations. The Free World's Republic held out for an additional day before their own civilian population demanded an end to the fighting. When Earth forces began broadcasting footage of destroyed planets and refugee camps, the Free World's people realized how badly their leaders had betrayed their founding principles. The peace negotiations took place aboard Admiral Han Wu's flagship, with representatives from both alliances, Earth's government, and dozens of refugee communities. The meetings lasted for 2 weeks, but the framework was simple. All military aggression would cease immediately. Both alliances would reduce their fleets to defensive levels only. War crimes tribunals would be established to judge officers who had targeted civilians. Most importantly, a new Galactic Council would be formed with representatives from all species, not just the military powers. Dr. Park High presented the technical aspects of the peace agreement. Earth will share defensive technologies with all species, but offensive weapons will be restricted to United Nations peacekeeping forces. No single alliance will have the power to threaten entire star systems again. Captain Obin's intelligence teams had uncovered evidence of war crimes by officers on both sides. The tribunals will be run jointly by Earth and neutral species. Anyone who ordered attacks on civilians will face justice, regardless of which side they fought for. Major Song Ki was already organizing joint training exercises between Earth forces and military units from other species. We're not just ending this war. We're making sure it can never happen again by teaching everyone to work together instead of fighting each other. Commander Yoon Soo was planning the largest resettlement program in galactic history. We have identified over 300 planets suitable for refugee resettlement. Earth's terraforming technology can make them habitable within a few years. The signing ceremony was broadcast to every inhabited world in the galaxy. President Kim Jae stood between the leaders of both former alliances as they agreed to the Terran Accords, the document that would reshape galactic civilization. Today, we choose peace over war, cooperation over conquest, and hope over fear, Kim Jae announced. Earth did not seek this responsibility, but we will not abandon it. Humanity will serve as guardians of galactic peace for as long as we are needed. The immediate aftermath of the Accords was chaos, but organized chaos. Earth's administrative teams had prepared for the massive task of transitioning from wartime to peacetime across dozens of star systems. General Bexol oversaw the conversion of military facilities to civilian production. We're turning weapons factories into schools and hospitals. Shipyards that built warships are now constructing colony vessels and cargo haulers. The refugee communities played a crucial role in the transition. The two fleets faced each other in the space between Jupiter and its moons. On one side, 13 massive hegemony warships with enough firepower to destroy small planets. On the other side, 43 Earth vessels that looked smaller and weaker but carried secrets the aliens could not imagine. Admiral Han Wu stood on his command ship's bridge, watching the enemy through the main view screen. Admiral Vorthak's fleet had stopped moving toward the refugee camps, but their weapons were still powered and ready. The standoff had been going on for 2 hours now. "Sir, the refugee camps are reporting panic among the civilians," Commander Yoon Soo said from her station. "They can see the hegemony ships through the observation windows. Many of them have seen what those ships can do to planets." Han Wu nodded grimly. "How many people are in the camps now?" "Just over 50,000 from the latest group, plus about 300,000 from earlier refugee waves. Mostly families with children. A few wounded soldiers who can barely walk, let alone fight." Dr. Park High was monitoring the hegemony ships with her advanced sensors. "Admiral, I'm picking up interesting energy readings from their fleet. It looks like they're having internal arguments. Some ships have powered down their weapons slightly, but others are charging them higher." "What does that mean?" Han Wu asked. "Either they can't agree on what to do, or some of their officers are planning to act without orders." Major Song Ki, Earth's best fighter pilot, was leading a squadron of small ships near the refugee camps. "Sir, request permission to get closer to the hegemony fleet. If they're having internal problems, we might be able to use that to our advantage." "Negative, Major. Stay with the civilian protection detail, but be ready to move fast if things go wrong." Captain Li Do's voice came through the communication system from his monitoring station. "Admiral, I'm picking up long-range sensor contacts. It looks like free world ships are also heading this way. About 20 vessels, still 6 hours out." Han Wu felt his stomach drop. "Are they coming to help the refugees or to attack the hegemony?" "Unknown, sir. But their course suggests they're planning to engage the hegemony fleet directly." Dr. Nam Ji, Earth's expert on alien psychology, had been studying both sides during the war. She was stationed on one of the research vessels near the outer system. Her voice came over a secure channel. "Admiral, this situation is becoming very dangerous. If the free world ships arrive while the hegemony is still here, they will start fighting each other. The refugee camps will be caught in the middle of a major space battle. President Kim Jae called from Earth's surface. "Admiral, what's the situation?" "Complicated, Mr. President. We have hegemony ships threatening our refugees, free world ships approaching for unknown reasons, and over 300,000 civilians caught in the middle. Plus, I think some of the hegemony officers are planning to attack against their admiral's orders." There was silence on the channel for a moment. Then Kim Jae spoke in his calm, steady voice. "Admiral, Earth's position remains the same. We protect all civilians seeking safety in our system. Anyone who attacks them becomes our enemy. Even if that means fighting both galactic superpowers at the same time? If necessary, yes." Han Wu closed the channel and looked around his bridge. His officers were young humans who had trained for years but never fought in a real war. They were about to face the most powerful military forces in the galaxy. "All hands, this is the Admiral speaking," Han Wu announced over the ship's communication system. "In a few hours we may be fighting for the lives of innocent people and the honor of Earth. Remember your training, follow your orders, and take care of each other. Earth is depending on us," the waiting continued. Both fleets maintained their positions, weapons ready but not firing. In the refugee camps, families huddled together and wondered if they would survive the day. On Earth, billions of people watched the news reports and held their breath. Then everything changed in an instant. A group of young hegemony officers on one of the smaller cruisers had been arguing with their commander for hours. They believed that Admiral Vorthak was being too careful. In their opinion, the humans were weak and would run away if attacked directly. Without permission from their admiral, 6 hegemony ships broke formation and headed straight for the largest refugee camp. Their weapons were fully charged and their shields were at maximum power. Multiple contacts breaking off from the main hegemony fleet, Captain Li Do reported urgently. "They're moving fast toward Camp Alpha." Camp Alpha was the largest of the refugee settlements, built inside a hollowed-out asteroid near Jupiter's moon Europa. Over 40,000 people lived there in what had once been mining tunnels. If the hegemony ships attacked it directly, everyone inside would die. "All units, intercept course immediately," Han Wu ordered. "Do not let those ships reach the civilian camp." Major Song Ki's fighter squadron was the closest to Camp Alpha. "Sir, we're moving to intercept, but we can't stop 6 cruisers with just fighters." "Do what you can. Major, help is coming." Earth's ships raced toward the rogue hegemony vessels, but the aliens had a head start and were moving at maximum speed. It would be close. Admiral Vorthak was screaming orders at his own ships over the radio, but the young officers were not listening. They had decided that destroying one refugee camp would prove human weakness and end the standoff quickly. Commander Yoon Soo was coordinating emergency evacuations from all the refugee camps. "We're getting people into the emergency shelters, but there's no time to evacuate completely. If those ships attack, thousands will die." Dr. Park Hai was monitoring the approaching ships with her sensors. "Admiral, those hegemony cruisers are charging their main weapons, plasma cannons that can melt rock. If they fire on the asteroid camps, the people inside won't have a chance." Han Wu made a decision that would be remembered for centuries. "All ships weapons free. You are authorized to fire on any vessel that threatens civilian populations. This is not a drill." For the first time in the war, Earth's hidden military showed its true power. The ships that had pretended to be miners and researchers suddenly revealed weapons that no one in the galaxy had ever seen before. Quantum missiles that could track targets through hyperspace. Energy beams that could cut through any known armor. Shield systems that turned enemy fire into additional power. Major Song Ki's fighter squadron reached the hegemony ships first. The alien cruisers opened fire on the small Earth fighters, expecting to destroy them easily. Instead, the fighters' shields absorbed the plasma blasts and fired back with weapons that cut through alien armor like paper. "This is impossible," one of the hegemony officers said over an open radio channel. "Human fighters cannot have this much firepower." But Earth's main fleet was still minutes away from the refugee camps. The rogue hegemony ships were almost in weapons range of Camp Alpha. 40,000 innocent people waited inside the asteroid, hoping that someone would save them. Then Major Song Ki did something that would become legend. He ordered his squadron to ram the lead hegemony cruiser. Not a suicide attack, but a precision strike designed to disable the ship's weapons without destroying it completely. "All fighters, follow my lead. Aim for their weapon systems. We're going to show these aliens what humans do when someone threatens our protected civilians." 20 small Earth fighters attacked 6 massive alien warships. It should have been hopeless. Instead, the fighters danced around the cruisers like angry wasps, hitting weak points and avoiding return fire. Their advanced targeting systems and quantum shields made them nearly impossible to destroy. But even Earth's advanced fighters could not stop 6 cruisers by themselves. The lead hegemony ship broke through the fighter screen and aimed its main guns at Camp Alpha. Plasma cannons charging, Dr. Park Hai reported, firing in 30 seconds. Commander Yoon Soo was coordinating the final evacuations. We've got most people into the deep shelters, but there are still families in the outer sections. They won't survive a direct hit. The hegemony cruiser fired. 3 massive plasma bolts streaked toward the asteroid camp. Each bolt carried enough energy to vaporize a city block. The people inside the asteroid could only wait and hope, but the plasma never reached its target. Captain Oh Bin had been leading a secret mission to install new defense systems around the refugee camps. His teams had worked for weeks to hide quantum shield generators inside the asteroids. The shields activated automatically when they detected incoming weapons fire. The plasma bolts hit the invisible shields and simply vanished. The energy was absorbed and redirected into space, harmless. Impossible, the hegemony officer whispered over the radio. Nothing can stop plasma weapons. Admiral Han Wu's voice came over all channels, broadcast to every ship in the area. This is Admiral Han Wu of Earth's Defense Fleet. You have just attacked innocent civilians under our protection. That was a mistake. Earth's main battle fleet arrived at that moment. 40 ships that had hidden their true nature for years suddenly revealed themselves as the most advanced warships in the galaxy. They moved with precision and speed that no alien force could match. The battle was over in minutes. Earth's weapons disabled the rogue hegemony ships without destroying them. The alien crews found themselves prisoners, their ships powered down and helpless. But the damage was done. The images spread across Earth's communication networks within hours. Pictures of burning refugee camps, civilian ships under attack, and alien warships firing on helpless families. The attack had been stopped. But 3,000 innocent people had died when the hegemony ships targeted evacuation transports, trying to reach safety. President Kim Jae stood before the United Nations of Earth Assembly. Representatives from every nation and colony watched as their leader prepared to speak. The Great Hall was completely silent. Everyone knew this moment would change human history. For 300 years, humanity has reached toward the stars with open hands, Kim Jae began. We have sought knowledge, friendship, and peaceful cooperation with all species we have encountered. When this galactic war began, we chose neutrality because we believed that peace was always better than violence. He paused and looked around the assembly. Yesterday, that belief was tested. Alien warships attacked civilian refugees under our protection. Men, women, and children from a dozen different species died because someone decided that Earth's promise of safety meant nothing. The president's voice grew harder. We offered neutrality to both sides. We asked only to be left in peace while we protected those seeking safety from this war. That offer has been rejected. Earth will no longer stand aside while innocent people are murdered. Admiral Han Wu watched from his command ship as the president continued his speech. Around him, his officers prepared for what they all knew was coming. Earth was going to war. Both galactic alliances will receive the same message, Kim Jae announced. Earth considers any attack on civilians to be an act of war against humanity. We will defend ourselves and anyone seeking our protection. This is not a threat. This is a promise. Within hours of the president's speech, things began happening all across Earth's solar system. Mining stations in the asteroid belt suddenly revealed massive shipyards that had been hidden inside hollow rocks. Research vessels near the outer planets shed their disguises to show advanced military sensors and weapons. Cargo ships opened their holds to reveal fighters and missiles instead of supplies. General Bayek Sol had been planning for this day for years. As head of Earth's secret military production, she had overseen the construction of the most advanced fleet in the galaxy. All of it hidden in plain sight. Phase 1 is complete, General Bexel reported to the Emergency Military Council. All hidden facilities are now active. We have 230 combat vessels ready for immediate deployment, plus over 500 support ships. Engineer Cho Min was coordinating the technical aspects of Earth's military reveal. Our new ships use a combination of human engineering and technology learned from refugees. We can match or exceed anything either side has. Dr. Park Hai had been working with teams of scientists for months, studying every piece of alien technology they could find. Our quantum disruption weapons can disable their shields and communication systems. Our adaptive armor can absorb their energy weapons and turn the power into fuel for our own systems. Captain O'Bin, who led Earth's special operations teams, had been preparing for a different kind of warfare. My people have been studying alien psychology and tactics. We know their weaknesses. More importantly, we know how to make them fight each other instead of fighting us. But the real surprise was what Earth had learned from the refugees themselves. Millions of displaced people from dozens of species had brought with them detailed knowledge of both galactic alliances, ship designs, weapon systems, military tactics, even the locations of secret bases. Commander Yoon Soo had been interviewing refugees for months. The people we've helped have been very grateful. They've shared everything they know about hegemony and free world's military operations. We have complete intelligence on both sides. Major Song Ki was already leading combat patrols around Earth's system. His pilots had tested their new ships against the captured hegemony cruisers and found them vastly superior. Sir, our fighters can outrun, outgun, and outmaneuver anything either side has. They won't know what hit them. The first test of Earth's new military came 3 days after the president's speech. A hegemony task force appeared at the edge of the solar system, demanding that Earth surrender the officers who had attacked their ships during the refugee camp incident. Admiral Vorthak's image appeared on communication screens throughout Earth's fleet. Humans, you are holding hegemony military personnel prisoner. Release them immediately or face the consequences. Admiral Han Wu's reply was broadcast not just to the hegemony ships, but to every listening post in the galaxy. Admiral Vorthak, your officers attacked civilian refugees under Earth's protection. They are being held as war criminals. If you want them back, you can negotiate for their release through proper diplomatic channels. We do not negotiate with primitives, Vorthak snarled. Surrender our people now or we will take them by force. You're welcome to try. What followed became known as the Battle of the Outer System. 36 hegemony warships attacked Earth's defensive positions near Pluto. They expected to find a few patrol boats and maybe some automated defense platforms. Instead, they ran into the most advanced military force in the galaxy. Earth's ships fought like nothing the hegemony had ever encountered. They moved faster than should be possible, hit harder than ships their size had any right to, and seemed to predict every alien tactic before it was used. The battle lasted 4 hours. When it was over, half the hegemony fleet was disabled or destroyed, and the rest was retreating at maximum speed. Earth had not lost a single ship. Dr. Nam Ji had been monitoring alien communications during the battle. Admiral, we're intercepting panic reports from the hegemony fleet. They can't understand how we defeated them so easily. Some of their commanders are calling for immediate reinforcements. Let them, Han Wu replied. The more ships they send, the more we can capture or destroy. Every battle teaches us more about their weaknesses. But Earth's leaders knew that defeating one hegemony task force was just the beginning. Both galactic alliances had thousands of ships and the resources of entire star sectors. If they decided to work together against humanity, even Earth's advanced technology might not be enough. Captain Li Do was monitoring communications across the galaxy from his deep space station. Sir, we're picking up interesting reports. The free worlds are not celebrating our victory over the hegemony. In fact, some of their leaders are talking about an alliance against us. President Kim Jae called another emergency meeting. This time, it included not just Earth's military leaders, but also representatives from the refugee communities. The situation is clear, Kim Jae said. Both galactic alliances see Earth as a threat to their power. They may try to work together to destroy us before we can interfere with their war further. An elderly refugee from the Altair colonies stood up. Her name was Elder Yoon, and she represented millions of displaced civilians. President Kim Jae, our people have seen what both sides do to worlds that resist them. They don't just defeat enemies. They destroy them completely. Every city, every ship, every person. What do you recommend? Kim Jae asked. Don't wait for them to attack, Elder Yoon replied. If Earth is going to fight this war, fight it on your terms, not theirs. Strike first, strike hard, and make them too busy fighting each other to unite against you. Admiral Han Wu had been thinking along the same lines. Mr. President, we have detailed intelligence on both sides' military installations. We know where their shipyards are, where they build their weapons, where they train their forces. If we hit those targets simultaneously, we can cripple both sides' ability to make war. Dr. Park High had been developing new weapons specifically for such a mission. Our quantum disruption missiles can be programmed to target specific types of installations. We could destroy their military production without harming civilian populations. General Bexall was already planning the logistics. We have enough ships for a full-scale military campaign, but this would mean war with the entire galaxy. Are we ready for that? President Kim Jae looked around the room at Earth's leaders and the refugees who had sought safety among humanity. The galaxy is already at war. Billions of people have died while we tried to remain neutral. Now they've attacked civilians under our protection. If we don't act, more innocent people will die while these two sides destroy each other and everyone caught in the middle. He stood up slowly. Earth didn't start this war, but we're going to end it. Admiral, prepare Operation Solar Wind. Target both sides' military infrastructure simultaneously. Show the galaxy that there's a third option besides conquest and destruction. Captain Obin's Special Forces teams were already preparing for their missions. Sir, my people are ready to infiltrate enemy command centers. We can disable their communication networks and turn their own psychological warfare techniques against them. Major Song Ki was coordinating with pilots from dozens of refugee species who wanted to join Earth's military. Admiral, we have volunteers from every major species in the galaxy, people who lost their homes to this war and want to help us end it. Commander Yoon Soo was managing the massive logistics of supporting Earth's war effort while still protecting millions of refugees.